What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Out of Bounds. I'm Rashad Milligan, joined here by my co-host slash producer, Malik Brown. Malik, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good, brother. Another Sunday night, man. Just chilling.
Another Sunday night indeed. And we are missing the third amigo here. Oh, man, I didn't even mean to do that. But we're missing our other co-host, Mr. Curtis, Johnson. Kurt is busy this weekend. He said, fellas, have a great show. Hope to join you guys back again next week. So, Kurt, we wish the best to you and everything like that. Now, with Out of Bounds, of course, the name of the show is Out of Bounds, and it's a sports show. So I think the first Out of Bounds topic that goes and it branches to all other topics that we usually tackle in order. We go from football and football season to basketball to everything else that's going on in the sports world. I think we have to start with Kyrie Irving. And the reason why I say that is because the Kyrie Irving situation, which we'll get into a little bit, in a couple seconds, it has called for Black people to ask or kind of propose this idea of boycotting the NBA, which of course is reminiscent a few years ago of the boycott of the NFL with the Colin Kaepernick situation. So if you don't know what's going on with Kyrie Irving, he apparently tweeted a screenshot to a Amazon or Netflix documentary about the history of Jews, I believe, or power structure, something along those lines. Apparently, the documentary has plenty of holes in it. There are a lot of inaccuracies, and it's kind of facts used in the video and stuff like that. And it's been called out several times. So they say that, the false inaccurate facts just they give off anti-Semitic kind of vibes. So anti-Semitic, Semitic, excuse me, not Semitic. Semitic. It's difficult to say that word. Pretty much just saying like against the Jews, like kind of racism towards Jewish people and the Jewish community. So that's what happened there. They pressed, Nick Friedel would think was like kind of the first one to press him into like apologizing for it. He didn't apologize for it then. It became a bigger deal. They asked him to apologize for it again at practice. He didn't apologize again. And then the Nets, he met with Adam Silver, and the Nets decided to suspend him for 5 games. He was suspended for 5 games for the Nets, at least 5 games. And they said he currently cannot associate himself with the Brooklyn Nets just because of what he said or what he didn't say, which was apologize, I guess. He offered to give $500,000 to a Jewish organization. They turned down the $500,000, and then Nike suspended him from kind of keeping their affiliation with him right now, and they shelved his Kyrie 8s, I believe, were the next shoe that he had coming out. They shelved those. So that's what's going on with Kyrie, and it's very kind of similar to TA, what's happening with Ye, on a larger scale with Ye, because he lost $2 billion in a day. So that just caused Black people to be like, yo, we need to stand up for Kyrie. We need to protect Kyrie, stand for something, because, this man, he's just kind of speaking his truth. And, even though people say the documentary he shared had a lot of inaccuracies in it. Anyways, I say all that to kind of open the floor to you, Malik. Interesting week. What do you think of the call for Black people to boycott the NBA?
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I mean, we went through this with the NFL, like you said, years ago. People are still watching the NFL to this day. People are still gonna watch the NBA to this day. Honestly, I mean, this whole week has been strictly just like, I feel like the NBA has just become more political than hoops, man. Like, it's crazy. Like, this whole week has been insane when it comes to that. I mean, with Kyrie, I feel like the Nets bullied him into apologizing. If I'm being honest, I mean, because he was staying 10 toes on what he was saying. He didn't apologize at all. And then after that, after I think a few press conferences or whatever, then they suspended him for 5 games. And then after that, they gave him a list of things that he had to do. I'm like, bro, like, okay, he apologized. Now you adding 6 other things for this man to do. You're bullying him. Like you're legit bullying this guy into like you're forcing him to do this stuff.
Question, Malik. Who is they?
Well, then did the Nets do it? What's his name? Joe.
Josiah and Sean
Yeah,
Marks.
yeah. So I mean, that's what it looks like. So I don't know if he's gonna.
Is there anybody else included in the day, Malik?
Wait, who else should?
Dr. Umar referred to them in his live as the untouchables. That's a joke. That's a joke. I mean, it's very. I just think it's ironic, man. Like how, like this entire thing is kind of like a lot of the sentiments that we've kind of heard growing up about the entertainment industry and a lot of industries in America of who like is at the top of it, who holds the power, who has the most money.
Yeah.
How they say like that's anti-Semitic. And then like with this, when people bring that up, they like, I've never seen people get punished like this for words. Like even when Cooper Riley, what's his name? Riley Cooper, whatever his name was, the white boy played for the Eagles on the Philly, used the N-word.
Oh yeah.
Even he like it's like people say the N-word, white people say the N-word on camera. And people wear blackface. Jimmy Kimmel, Sarah Silverman wear blackface and get awarded with hour-long specials and the longest running late night show on ABC. Like it's crazy. Like I've never seen anybody get this like just I don't know what the word is. I don't want to use a insensitive word and say like lashing, but like lashing is I guess the best word I have for it. A lashing, public lashing for words. I mean, and people say like, well, you never, so and so. When has racism ever been cool? I've never seen anyone who was racist to black people get this much of like, shut out.
Yeah.
Lose billions of dollars, millions of dollars. I've never seen that with anyone who was racist against black people. I've seen it where it was like, okay, this group isn't rocking with them. A whole nother group comes in and supports them. They end up on some other platform. Joe Rogan is the richest podcaster right now. He has mad old episodes where he's using a hard R and he's saying like insensitive racial jokes because, it's like locker room humor. Salute to 45. But like, I don't know, man. I've just never seen something like this happen from words or sharing information or like anything. And like, you know what I'm saying? It's not white people have their racial theories, you know what I'm saying? Like of, black people were, just kind of designed and created with more strength and more athleticism, and white people were born with more brain power and they're smarter. Like a white person could say that, a famous person could say that. In fact, it did happen on CBS back in the 70s. And did that man lose $1 million, $1 billion? I don't think he did. Right. I think he lost his job at CBS, but I'm sure the man figured out something.
Yeah.
I never seen this happen when people were racist to black people. But go ahead, Malik.
No, I'm saying it's bad. I mean, it kind of reminds me of I think it was last year when Myers Leonard, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He said something over like a gaming. He was gaming and said, I forgot what he said, but he said something. But I don't think
he said it about I think that community as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think he didn't get a job after that though.
Yeah, he hadn't. Yeah. But the league didn't tell him to do 6 things and do this and that. Like he just doesn't have a job. He just doesn't have a job. So it's like I said, it's pretty insane, bro. Like what they're doing. Like I don't know.
I think I just think it's ironic that this is like what they're doing when he said something about a particular group of Americans.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting. It's like I don't know, man, because I've never seen this happen with any other type of racism. And like I said, like you always have to keep perspective. I talked to John Hope Bryant about it earlier this weekend. Salute to him, a friend of the show at this point. But John Hope Bryant was saying, like, yeah, I mean, most of the people that weren't black marching with King and doing the things with King during the civil rights era were the Jewish people. It's something that Raphael Warnock also said when he came into office and spoke to us and stuff for a couple minutes. So we know that, right? Shout out to salute to all the rabbis back in the 60s and the 70s that were fighting for black people's rights because the Jewish community was oppressed and they faced death and they saw massacre too with the Holocaust. So they struggled too, right? And they helped black people in the past as well through black people's struggles all the way up to today with Black Lives Matter. The thing is like I said, it's just I don't see people losing. I've never seen anyone lose $2 billion because they said they called a black person a monkey or used a hard R or
Right.
said something insensitive about slavery.
Mhm.
I mean, you might lose a commercial here or there, and as they call it, leftist Hollywood, blue Hollywood might kind of give you less roles, but there's a whole nother group of people. I think it was Tucker Carlson, or I don't know, the Fox News guy, Glenn Beck, I think it was, who like left Fox News and went independent, and he like became the most profitable guy in all of media, right? And just with his right wing people, I just don't see this happen when people are racist of black people, including Kanye West. Kanye West said slavery was a choice 4 years ago. Nothing happened. It was like nothing but our people, you know, a large portion of them stopped listening to his music, stopped supporting him. He still became a billionaire 4 years later.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, man. It's just I think it's kind of, I don't know how that's proven the point that this is just false and like
Yeah.
this community doesn't have this magical type of power because I've never seen someone get just, I've never seen it.
Everything, bro. Losing everything.
Never seen it before.
Not even a billionaire no more. Talking about Kanye, but Kyrie got his whole Nike thing suspended, bro.
They
Got his
shelved the
whole deal
shoe
suspended.
and they're making them do six things. They're
Six
making
things.
and it's like Nick Cannon, Umar was talking about this as well. Like they made like or like he had to go through a whole course, like a whole like semester's kind of worth of courses just to learn about the community and their history. And it's like, man, I feel like that's just proving the point of the whole conspiracies and stuff. Now, do I believe 100% the conspiracies and all that? No. You know what I'm saying? Like people, like there's people who struggle in every single community. But John Hope, he said it, what you guys will see soon. But he kind of said it best where he was like, that community only makes up 2% of the US population. Yet somehow they control 25% of the wealth in the country. He said what we need to be doing, our community, is sitting down with them and trying to figure out how did they do it.
Right.
Like we need to be getting together and build as opposed to speaking down on and trying to divide.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, I don't know. It's a tricky situation. Like, if we say too much, Lord knows what they're gonna do to us.
I'm
I
saying.
mean, I don't have $1 million. So if y'all want to take my little what I'm saying, my little comma and I don't have two commas. I
Hey, go
only
ahead,
have
wipe me
one.
out.
Yeah, go ahead, man. You know what I'm saying? It'd be spare change, but man, I don't know. And my friend, I was talking to him as well. He said, yeah, folks will stand down for like one season of football, NFL, it's only like 17 Sundays, but folks ain't about to go out for the NBA. Like they're not giving up basketball.
Facts. Big facts. Yeah, bro.
He said folks is not going for
They not getting
basketball.
rid of that. Ain't no boycotting going around here, man. They can talk. It ain't happening. I already know.
Man, and before we move on, I want LeBron. LeBron was someone who also was criticized. Well, we can mention who kind of spoke up on Kyrie's behalf in a way. Kyle Kuzma and LaMelo Ball both tweeted things like something along the lines of, well, people just being honest, the media trying to stop us. We just trying to be honest. And a couple hours later, Kuz was like, "This has nothing to do with current events." And then LaMelo Ball was like, "Same, same." And I'm like, man, is this the mob? I mean, I don't want to say too much. I'll stop there, but that's what I thought. I was like, this is the modern day mob. Like we're seeing it in real time. But that was what I wanted to say. LeBron James on the other side, longtime Kyrie guy, tried to get Kyrie reportedly to LA this past summer for Russell Westbrook. Didn't work out for him. But he condemned Kyrie for his comments, and a lot of black people were saying that's kind of whack of LeBron. The least he could have said was, I know Kyrie, he's not a harmful person. I think he just took in some misinformation, some wrong information, and he misunderstood, and his message kind of got misconstrued in trying to convey it because he took in wrong information. But I'm sure he doesn't mean anything that is against any other race or type of people because he's a loving person, a loving being. And that's where you can denounce how do you say
Anti-Semitic,
it? And anti-Semiticism,
anti-Semitism.
but also defend your brother at the same time, or you know your so-called self-proclaimed brother. So I feel like just how you feel about LeBron's comments, Malik.
Um, I mean, I feel like I feel like he kind of did stand up for him a little bit, and then at the same time was like, I don't respect it. I don't, basically saying, I don't respect any like hate words and things like that. And he was like, I just don't respect it. I know I saw a lot of people talking about, he didn't defend him at all. He was like, they were like, there's a way you can go about defending, your brother, but at the same time standing on what you feel. So I know a lot of people didn't feel like he did his best, but I mean, I don't know. Every time LeBron talk about a situation like this, it just is it gets kind of weird, bro. Because everybody like, oh, LeBron cap, LeBron.
I remember the one thing I always think of with LeBron is I believe it was Tamir Rice. That was Tamir Rice, right? When his mom was like, "Yo, LeBron hasn't said anything," and then
Mm,
LeBron was like, well, I haven't taken in all the facts," and
mhm.
people like killed
Yeah,
LeBron for that.
yeah,
Like I was like, man,
yeah.
and that was before. Now, like now he's a billionaire now, so he's in that Jay-Z, Yay, and all that range and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like you said, I think it's a lose-lose situation, whatever he says. But that I think that Twitter idea, they need to let these Twitter people be like people's publicists and managers because they be coming up with some good ideas. They're great Monday morning quarterbacks. I do wanna you have on the Nike hoodie right now. People talking about people burning their Nikes and their Adidas in support of Ye, who, of course, Adidas cut ties with, and Nike, who have suspended all operations with Kyrie. It's crazy because people were supporting Nike a few years ago because they gave Cap the opportunity when Cap didn't have any opportunities. But I guess just, well, like where do you stand on that boycott?
I'm not burning none of my stuff. I'm not burning none of my stuff, bro. I never understood the burning thing, bro. Like the burning and the like, okay, I'll trash it for sure. Not burning my stuff. Like, I mean, I'm not behind that part. But I mean, I feel like as far as like the Kyrie situation, um, I mean, suspending is cool. They didn't completely terminate, everything. So, you know, every I feel like most of the time you see everybody, of course, with the Kanye thing recently, everybody just terminate. Partnership over, partnership over. So I think Nike did a good thing there. Um Adidas with the whole that the Adidas Kanye thing has been going on forever. Like, I mean, I feel like at some point it was going to be inevitable. Like they were gonna cut ties with him regardless of just everything he had been going through. But But no, I mean, some people have their own little ritual, the burning thing they do and everything like that. But no, I'm not burning none of my stuff.
It didn't that did LeBron start that, or did that happen way before LeBron?
What the
Burning of
burning?
the
Dang, that was probably the first time I had witnessed
Yeah, that's the first
the
time I've
burning
ever
stuff.
seen, and it became like a thing after that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like we're both young,
Mhm.
so this is a time where we can use Kurt to be like, well, back in Detroit, they burned Barry Sanders. He retired randomly. But but yeah, man, like I don't know, man. Shout out to LeBron for starting that trend. But, man, where was I going with that? Uh how? How? That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. That was a side note right there. Um Man, where was I? Where was I? Retrace my mind.
Burning. I thought you talking about LeBron.
Burning of the
Burning.
jerseys. Shout out to LeBron
Jersey.
starting the whole
Shout
burning the jerseys
out
trend. But I don't even know where I wanted. Oh, Adidas. I think the craziest thing with Adidas is like the fact that they're still using his stuff. Like
Yeah.
that's the craziest thing. Like they're still using his designs.
Mhm.
They're still, and it's I don't know, and they're just putting a different name on it. I think that's so whack.
Yeah.
Like if we're gonna cut Kanye, if we're gonna cut
Everything.
Ye, cut Ye, like cut Ye and keep it pushing with Adidas.
Yeah.
But like to use this man's stuff is just proving his point of like the reason why he was saying Adidas can't cut ties with me is because like y'all can't go without Ye. It's like
They
the
need
Gap
me.
thing. It's like when he left Gap, and cut ties with Gap and ended his partnership with Gap, he's like, Gap is nothing without Ye. Like I made Gap cool again. It was only one person in the world who can make Gap cool again. And the lady on where is that? C-SPAN. No, not C-SPAN, the money channel. MSNBC,
Mhm.
whatever channel it is. And she's like, well, who's that? They're like, sometimes the answer is right in front of you. Yeah, so many classic moments on interviews this year. But man, I don't know. It's like you're just proving his point. I feel like in a lot of these things, people are just proving people's point.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown allegedly liked. Now, this is a graphic, so social media graphics you have to be careful with because anybody can get a picture and just create a graphic on Photoshop and post it on the internet. But allegedly, from a graphic on social media that was created, take that with a grain of salt and an asterisk. Said that Jaylen Brown liked an Instagram comment that hinted towards he left on the sports, not because he wanted to, but because he was forced to.
Oh, brother. More bullying. More
And
bullying.
as you saw this past week, after Jalen left Donda, he was fighting for those kids to have a basketball season.
Uh-huh.
Why would he do that if he just left Donda Sports?
Yeah.
It lines up with said social media photographic and stuff like that. I don't know, man. If that's true, bro, they just proving everything right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of bullying going
And
around.
it goes back to Adidas.
Yeah.
Ye leaves Adidas and you still sell Yeezys and call it Peasies.
Call it peasies.
You just proving Ye right. When Jaylen Brown leaves Down the Sports and AB makes the same little note thing just to say he's staying, which was totally unnecessary. It's just proving the guy's right. I don't know. That's just me on my low high horse. And I don't know, man. I think it's just a weird time. It's more so the response. I want people like Kyrie has to go through these educational courses and everything like that, but it's a large group of Black people because I mean, at the end of the day, like, okay, you look at the facts of who participated in the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, Africans sold other Africans to the white people, but who financed the ships to get them from point A to point B across the ocean? And who owned slaves once they were in America?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just white people. That wasn't the only community. I think it was a very small percentage, if I'm not mistaken, of Black people that actually owned slaves. but it was also another community that owned slaves in America. So I don't know, man. It's like when when a large group of black people side with Kyrie just based off of those 2, 3 little nuggets. I think what we need is like the whole cancel culture conversation that we had a couple years ago, where everybody's like, I don't think cancel culture is effective because like you should teach people instead of just taking everything away from them, the baby. Um, so what I want to see is a lesson. I want to see it sit down. I want to see a public meeting. I want to see something on, if ESPN and sports program wants to become this, what it's become in the past couple weeks, then let's make it that. Let's have a town hall with people from that community and people from our community who have believed these certain things for generations and generations and decades, all of our lives about one another community. And let's come to an understanding so that when we say these things that we believed all of our lives, it doesn't just come across as racist, ignorant, uh, and everything like that. Just let us know. Let's have a full conversation and broadcast it live. We could do it over here at Rolling Out. I got some homies on that side of the community like that. We could do that at Rolling Out and have a discussion. So, but that's what I want to see. That's the challenge that I'm putting out. Malik, you got any other words on this?
Nah, because I'm scared if I say anything else, then I'm legit like every time like this stuff come up, bro. I'm like, bro, I don't know, like I feel like I'm walking on eggshells
I feel the same way.
because I feel like I can get screenshotted or I can get video clipped and next morning I'll be on Twitter or MSNBC or CNN. They said, "Oh, this no." I'm like, bro, I don't have time, bro.
Nah, I heard it. I
Remember
heard it.
that, bro.
My boy said I got to get these 5 stories in. But my next thing I wanted to talk about is with so we talked about that, which was the big thing. This I guess well, staying with the NBA before I move on to everything else and giving kudos to people and stuff and getting to the brighter news. Like you said, the NBA's it's such good basketball this season to begin the year.
Yeah,
I think outside of the Lakers, like pretty much every team is just amazing. Like Cleveland got better, of course, from adding Donovan Mitchell, but Utah is a good team too.
yeah, yeah.
Sacramento is good because the Hawks had to salary dump Kevin Herter off to them.
Uh-huh.
So they're a good team. They just won at the buzzer thanks to De'Aaron Fox from half court. Um, I was about to say Mo Bamba, but Bol is finally getting some minutes,
Uh-huh.
and he's looking good. I mean, the league is just in a very good basketball as opposed to the NFL, which has just been terrible
Yeah.
week after week after week.
Terrible.
The Falcons stumble their way to a loss or stumble their way to a win. It's ugly. It's ugly stuff going on right now. Tom Brady's losing in college. Alabama's losing. It's crazy. Things that we've never seen our entire lives. So I say all that to say the NBA is the one league that's going well right now, going strong with this on court product. And none of it's being talked about because we're talking about everything else. Like you said, the politics of it. One of those things is the Brooklyn Nets are reportedly lined up to hire Ime Udoka in the midst of him being suspended for a full season from the Boston Celtics. This was reported like the same day that Steve Nash was fired, which I think was like Monday. But it's Sunday at the time we're recording this, and Ime Udoka hasn't been hired. So I guess just what were your thoughts on that, Malik, if it happens? And yeah.
All I have to say is if you were gonna let dude go somewhere else, why didn't you just fire him in the first place? I just don't get it, bro. I don't understand. Y'all gonna leave this man on the roster the whole season and probably fire him.
They didn't have the money.
Bruh.
It would have been more money to fire him because you would have had to pay him out. Versus if he leaves to go to another team, Brooklyn has to pay Boston money to get him.
bro. I just,
So
man,
it was money.
it's crazy, man. I mean, for after what he did, I still don't think he should, be coaching right now. It is very still early in the season. Like, you know, I don't think he should be coaching right now. I still think he needs to pay for what he did. Because that is very, very disgusting. But yeah, but the Nets are just a fire, like a fire hole. Like they just terrible ran franchise. Terrible in my opinion. One of the most terrible ran franchises right now. I mean, I feel like it's we're not even talking about hoops when it comes to the Nets anymore. Like it's just every other thing, bro. Like, and the Nets they're not even doing good this season. They're like not even like really doing good this season. So it's just been a whole mess in Brooklyn, man. It's been a whole mess. I went to the Skyhawks game on Friday. They played the Long Island Nets, the G League team, and they were blowing them out by like over 50. I was like, the Nets just nothing can go right in Brooklyn right now. Nothing can go right in Brooklyn right now at all.
My question, do you think Cam Thomas gets traded? That's a basketball question, which is like in the middle of this non-basketball discussion.
Uh Nah, I don't know if he wants to get traded. Of course, he's voiced or put whatever he did on Instagram, saying free him or something like that. I don't think they trade him. I think he just have 27 like on Friday or something. Like he just had like a good game. I mean, when they started to play him, of course.
Jared Culver for Cam Thomas, who says no? But uh yeah, so all right, so you don't think Cam Thomas gets traded? That was mad basketball-y question. I apologize to all the viewers who are just here for like surface level kind of sports content. But what I wanted to say about Brooklyn. Yeah, man, it's crazy. I think the discussion that I have with them, what you brought up about how terribly ran they were, or is you look at their kind of history, right? How they got here. They had a good team, a team that worked hard with one all-star with D'Angelo Russell, and they were an all-star team, like young team that kind of like they outperformed their talent level and they were lovable. Um, and then they kind of like wiped it out to make room for stars, and they landed the stars and it didn't necessarily work. So I just have a question for you with what do you think this does for people who want to build super teams? Does this change the super, like does this finally end the super team era?
Oh, you asking me, does this end the super team era?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Oh, I don't I don't think so. Um, I feel like you just gotta kind of this Nets thing has been going on for since the off season. Um, and of course, we all know Kyrie has been very controversial the past 2 years. I don't think there's any player in the league like him when it comes to stuff like that. So I think they're a very unique situation. Of course, the whole Kevin Durant thing, he asked for a trade, doesn't get traded. Um, they keep the whole group or whatever. I think the reason he wanted to, I think they was like, I want Steve Nash and whatchamacallit fired. They don't fire him. They keep KD. They end up firing Steve Nash early in the season. It's just really a lot of stuff, bro. It's a lot of stuff. But I think it's just a very unique situation. Like, I mean, I can't think of the Kings, but that's just like as far as just players and things like that. But the Nets is just like on the floor, on the court, off the court. Like you don't see this often. I don't think it's gonna harm anything as far as with super teams and stuff like that.
I don't know, man, because you look at the two most disappointing teams the past 2 seasons, it's been the Lakers and the Nets. The thing is, the Lakers have gotten one championship out of it.
Yeah.
So it's like that kind of keeps it alive. And then you look at a situation like the Hawks where they were like a middle of the pack playoff team, fringe playing playoff team. They had another all-star, and now they're one of the better teams in the league in the East. You
Mm,
look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, uh, team on the rise, middle of the pack Eastern Conference playoff team. They add another All Star. They're one of the better teams in the East, one of the better teams in the league now. So I think when you see situations like those where you just add one more guy, I think that's going to keep that kind of idea of a super team alive.
mm.
You know, I but I think the days of lineups of 4 or 5 all stars, I think that might be done with. I think that might be over.
Maybe yeah. I mean,
At least for this generation.
yeah, probably.
Because I mean, like super teams, you think about Boston Celtics back in the '80s and the Lakers, like they have 4 or 5 Hall of Famers in the starting lineup. You know what I'm saying? So and then the Chicago Bulls, you had 3 guys, Pippen, they bring in Rodman and Jordan. So and Kukoc and Kerr and Paxson, like like a lot of like very, very good players. So like super team has kind of always been a thing that's been around with very good teams and stuff like that. Excuse me. But I think for this generation that started with the Boston Celtics bringing in Garnett and Ray Allen, 07 that was, to now 2022, I think this 15-year window of super teams with 4 superstars, 3 superstars, 5 supers, and 5 all-star lineups, starting lineups like the Lakers with Rondo, Russell Westbrook, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Dwight Howard. Like I think those days are over of seeing lineups like that and stuff like that. So I don't know. Just a little side note I had. Dusty Baker. We got to give it up for Dusty Baker. In a year where it was 0 black players in the World Series for the first time since 1950, Dusty Baker, the only black person really involved in the World Series, the manager for the Houston Astros, becomes the 3rd black manager in MLB history to win a World Series. So you got to give him his props. Longtime manager that's always kind of knocked on the door. You think about the early, like the mid 2000s with the Chicago Cubs and Sammy Sosa. Those guys were knocking on the door and had like some like unfortunate breaks in the playoffs with the whole Bartman situation and stuff like that. Probably the most infamous fan player interaction that affected the game in the history of sports and modern day in the past 20 years. When you think of going to Washington later on in his career and they just being a bad team and everybody blamed it on Dusty, the black man. And then, you think of Houston where he comes to Houston and they carry that good team kind of record. Last year they lose to Atlanta and this year they come back just to win it. So salute to Dusty for finally getting it done. I think he's good to like kind of retire now, whatever he wants to do. He's also the oldest manager to win his first World Series at 73. So yeah, salute to Dusty, former teammate of Hank Aaron's. Any words from you, Malik, on Dusty Baker winning the World Series?
Nah, that's big, man. Shout out to Dusty. Like you said, I mean, that's pretty big. So definitely, yeah. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Astros. Everybody thought that. Well, a lot of people I'll talk to thought the Phillies were going to win since they went on this amazing run. But nah, I mean, shout out to the Astros. Shout out to the Astros.
So salute to Houston and salute to the Astros and 4 of the top 5 players in the MLB draft for 2022 were black. So, you gotta definitely mention those statistics of, help is on the way and the future is looking brighter and brighter for baseball. Of course, we talked about Michael Harris on here a multitude of times. Can't talk about him enough. DeKalb County native, playing for the hometown team, doing what he's doing over there with the Cleveland Guardians, pitcher Tristan McKenzie, of course, with the Cincinnati Reds. Hunter Green, the former teenage phenom, pitcher and hitter in high school, but now he's just a pitcher. Tim Anderson, of course, with the shortstop with the Chicago White Sox. I was about to say Mookie Blaylock. Mookie Betts, outfielder for the Los Angeles Dodgers, always speaking up for black people and saying we need more black people at the stadiums to come to the games. Just a lot of black people right now doing positive things for the league and trying to really speak up and be there for other black kids to stay involved in the game, get involved in the game, and help them along the way because a lot of this recruiting and these kind of rankings of prospects and the draft and all that. It comes through travel ball and these showcases that cost lots of money, that a lot of black kids, I don't know if black parents can afford it, or it's just like, it's cheaper to kind of go the basketball and football route where, you stand on the corner and you raise $200 from drive-bys and stuff like that to go to a tournament. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit cheaper. So, and it's cheaper just to have a pair of basketball shoes and a basketball uniform as opposed to cleats, baseball uniform, hat, glove, bat, the whole nine, batting bag. That's a lot of stuff in baseball. So yeah. Anything else on, I guess, black participation in baseball, Malik?
No, I mean, I mean, I remember you and Terrence were talking about this a long time ago, but I mean, nah, I mean, uh I think it means a lot. Hopefully it continues to grow as well. Um, but not because I don't really watch baseball like that. So just hearing this stuff is pretty big because I already know, it's not a lot of black representation in baseball to start with. So seeing stuff like that is kind of big. I mean, of course, Michael Harris from I'm from the cab too, so it's kind of big seeing things like that happen. So I mean, I just hope it continues to grow.
No, 100%. And I think the reason why, a lot of people might not be like, why is it always a thing in baseball? In baseball, like, we don't have this discussion in NASCAR or the NHL, or you have to understand, like, black people never played those sports. Black people used to play baseball, and like the greatest baseball players ever are black. Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, black people. Babe Ruth. There is that whole, conspiracy about Babe Ruth being black. But Barry Bonds, all these guys are Ken Griffey Jr., like all these people are black. So it's like, the all-time greats are black. Black people used to play baseball, and now it's like they don't. And so it's just kind of crazy. That's the reason why it's such a large discussion point to anybody whoever wonders why that's such a discussion point. John Hope Bryant is the interview we're going to be using this week. And I guess this is a perfect time to put it. So here's John Hope Bryant's interview. All right, John. So latest stop here at New Birth, fresh off the plane from California. How did you think it go? How did you think it went?
Well, it's not up to me to evaluate how it goes or how it went. It's really the response from the audience. I think that they got it. I tried to pour everything I had into them because you never know when you're going to find the next Steve Jobs or the next Oprah Winfrey or the next Jay-Z or the next entrepreneur or business owner or billionaire in the making in our community. We have brilliance in our community, but it's not being tapped, it's not being mined. And we got to stop role modeling the wrong things, right? What do we see in our neighborhood as symbols of success? Rap stars, can't scale that. Athletes, you can't scale that. And drug dealers, you don't want to scale that. What we need are business people and entrepreneurs doing normal stuff, real estate, business management, engineering, like normal stuff the economy needs every day. That's what we had in this audience. That's why I'm so excited. The new Black Wall Street is a place where you can come and do well and do good. You can take care of your normal business, your normal activities, buy the stuff you need every day, and support black business at the same time. Why wouldn't you do that? I'm gonna go shopping before I leave here. We all should understand that the dollar that only circulates in our community once or twice. It circulates in everybody else's community a half dozen to a dozen times. They keep in that community, they're building wealth, not just making money. We gotta understand that we're obsessed with making money, getting paid, getting that dollar. That's the wrong thing. You make money during the day, you build wealth in your sleep. We need to build wealth in our sleep. We need to become homeowners. Homeowners. The number one way you build wealth is home ownership. And 41% of African Americans own a home. Hold on. Half of African Americans have a credit score below 620. If your credit score is below 620, you don't have a Mercedes, you have Mercedes payments. And rent is not owning. And small business dreaming is not small business owning. And you can't get access to capital if your credit score is 620. That means half of us are locked out of the free enterprise system. We need to knock it off. Even if you want to distribute money like a socialist, you got to first collect it like a capitalist.
And second question, first things first, condolences to you and everything like that, being close with Quavo and everything what happened this week. I did want to ask you with Kyrie and Kanye, both making their comments about, the Jewish community and kind of the repercussions, things they faced after that.
They're stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. Look, first of all, why are we picking on Jewish people? I got bums in my family. They got bums in their family, and they look just like them. Look, 20% of black folks are bums. 20% of white folks are bums. 20% of Latinos, Asians, Indians, Republicans, Democrats, rich, poor people are bums. Why are we picking on anybody? In fact, half of those who supported Dr. King and the Civil Rights Movement, half of white folks were Jewish. Folks who financed some of my enterprises were Jewish. I mean, don't hate on them for giving you a contract. Read it. They gave me a bad contract. No, you don't know what a good contract looks like. All right? Fair exchange is no robbery. I mean, I'm not even sure what they're complaining about. Like, wait a minute, you're a billionaire complaining about what? You have a $100 million, $50 million contract complaining about what? No, Pookie and them need to be complaining. My cousin who's broke, who's got too much money in their money, needs to be complaining. The ladies in Iran who can't wear a headscarf without being murdered need to be complaining. What? You a billionaire? You complaining about what? Knock it off. Knock it off. And when Kanye said, Adidas I can talk about Jews and they can't drop me, tell you what, karma's a real thing. And whatever goes around, comes around. And just like he talked mess, there's a dude in Florida who used to be the president talking mess, all that karma's coming back. We gotta knock this stuff off. Whenever you make an emotional decision, it's going to be the wrong one. Kanye was wrong to pick on Jews. Mr. Irving is wrong, whatever his name is. I don't even like him, I can't remember his name. I just blanked him out. They're wrong to pick on Jews. Jews were enslaved like us. It was an attempted extermination of Jews. Like, within the last 100 years, what are we talking about? They should be our brothers and sisters. Let me tell you something. You want to talk about Jews? Here's what you need to talk about. They're 2% of the U.S. population and own 25% of the wealth. All we need to figure out is, how did you do it? We need to figure out how they do it. Because they were oppressed and they were attempted exterminated, but they somehow made it through. And so we need to stop focusing on what we're against and start focusing on what we're for. On that point, I'll drop the mic and I'm out.
All right, thank you, John. Thank you, John, for stopping by Out of Bounds. Also had the opportunity to speak with Angel McCoughtry and just talk to her about, receiving her flowers.
This is Angel McCoughtry, and you're tuned in to Out of Bounds.
All right, Angel. So you got to, let the people know about your newest tech venture. Just what are some of the details about that for the people to know right now?
Yeah, just PS on with you. It's a way to leave gifts and messages for your loved ones after you pass away. So you can check us out at psonwithyou.com. We just want to provide healing for people, and definitely check out my new movie, Lanier, coming out next October 2023.
You were also on, you had a track on 2K, right?
Yes, definitely got do music as well. A lot of people don't know that, you know what I mean? But definitely got some tracks coming out in January, and I'll check it out on the video game 2K.
Angel, do you feel like you get your flowers here in Atlanta, being the queen of Atlanta basketball? Do you feel like you get those flowers right now?
I think that it's coming. It's coming. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and the flowers are coming.
And, what can you offer to teams right now?
To teams?
WNBA teams right now.
What do you mean?
What can you offer to WNBA teams right now at this stage of your career?
Oh, well, I can offer more than I did when I was a rookie. I'm experienced. You know what I mean? I've been there. I know what it takes to be a champion. And, I'm the type that now can help the younger girls. Let them hold the torch, and I like it.
How's Kennedy doing?
She's doing really well. She's got a new coach in LA, so she's really excited about that. So I think with this new coach, she's going to get more playing time and really be able to do her thing.
Situation with BG, you were the person that really brought it to our attention, to the public's attention. Right now, what's kind of the update with BG? How are you feeling?
Did I bring it to the public attention?
I thought it was the Instagram comment when you told us, and everybody was like,
People know
Angel.
that she had been over there. Why? When they bought it, I said, nah, she been over there 3 weeks, but I think that we need to get her home. And, I see a lot of the negative comments and stuff on social media, but I think that no matter what, if one of your family members, you want them back, nobody wants to be stuck in another country. You know what I mean? BG's a great person. BG doesn't do crimes. She's not a criminal. I think that we just need to get her back. I've played in Russia 3 years. We've been in and out those borders. They know us. They've seen us tall black women before. So even I've asked my friends in Russia what they think. The Russians think is political. So if the people that live in Russia think it's political, it's definitely something going on.
Okay, thank you. I was about to say thank you, Brittany Griner. Excuse me. Thank you, Angel McCoughtry. We look forward to doing more interviews with Angel as well in the future and doing some more stuff with her. So be on the lookout for that. Malik, King and Queens of the Week.
Woo!
Who do you got?
Dang. King of the Week. I guess King, I can go Dusty. Makes sense. I'll go Dusty. I'll go Dusty for King. You want to go King or you want me to do
I'll go King. Got Dusty as well.
Okay. Queen. Queen gets tough around this time.
Yeah, because there's no WNBA. But colleges, they're playing the exhibitions right now and stuff like that, and the season starts this week. I feel like Don Staley probably has the record for amount of Queen of the Weeks on out of bounds.
her Brittany. I know I did Nia like through that 2 weeks. She's not even an athlete. I'm gonna go whatever you say, because I can't think of one.
I think I'm gonna go with it's a toss up for me this week, because first I'll say, and I've given this person Queen of the Week before. Flage, she just celebrated, I believe she turned 19 this past week. And in her first exhibition, first college action, she had 22 points, I believe. It was 22 against Mississippi College, and she hit a buzzer beater from the LSU logo. So, also she's doing this while signed to Jay-Z's Rock Nation as a rapper. That's crazy. So salute to her for that. Shout out to, I'm just shouting out some people. Shout out to Juju Watkins for signing with Nike. Shout out to Kiki Rice for signing with Jordan Brand this past week. Both of those are two young women that we have featured on Rolling Out and stuff like that, and Out of Bounds and stuff like that. So salute to them. And then my last one would be AZ Fudd. AZ Fudd, a Steph Curry athlete, UConn sophomore. She's really kind of had to step into that starring role for UConn this season, with Paige Bakers being out for the year, tearing her ACL in the offseason. So it's on AZ. And today she had 29 points. She knocked down 9 3-pointers, and she scored 23 of her 29 points in the span of 12 minutes in the third quarter, because she only had 6 points in the first half. So she really turned it on, some Klay Thompson type stuff. And salute to AZ Fudd. So those are my Queens of the Week.
I'm with him. I'm with that guy.
You don't even do Stacey Abrams, some it's election time in Georgia. You got the Georgia voter thing.
Shout out to Stacey, man. Shout out to Stacey.
Stacey Abrams, that's like the cop out thing. But and until next time, guys, Rashad Milligan once again. Malik Brown, Curtis, Johnson will be back next week. Out of